morning, viewers and listeners. Welcome you especially to the insurance segment. With me in the studio, I have Mrs. Omenago Ode. Madam, you are welcome.
Good morning, viewers, and thank you. We give you many thanks for spending time with us again.
We are still on the issue of highlights of the Insurance Act of 2003. Last week we discussed about Section 65, subsection 2, that says all public buildings should be insured. And we have also given a description of what public buildings are. Buildings that you have free entry and exit. That's what is called a public building. And by description, schools, hospitals, tenement houses, shopping mall, amongst others. These are what are classified as public buildings. Now, for today, we are going to talk about Section 65, subsection 3 of the Insurance Act of 2003. And that point says that the insurance policy under subsection 1 shall cover the legal liabilities of an owner or occupier of premises in respect of loss or damage to property or bodily injury or death suffered by any user of the premises and third parties. Ms. Odia, let us speak on this particular section of the 2003
Well,
Insurance
this
Act.
subsection is just helping us see that even if you are not the owner of the premises or the property, you also have a right to insure, because if anything happens to either the building or whatever business you do in that premises, is going to affect you. So you have insurable interest and you have a right to insure, and that can also be put on ground for you.
Yeah, because we have had situations where people occupy premises, and when there's a damage, the owners of the property will come to say, well, I gave you property to stay, not to destroy. And then you need to look for compensation to make. In that wise, yes, truly you can. But the beautiful thing more about that subsection 65, section 3 there is on the basis that third-party liabilities are also included. Public liability policy is also included. You have a damage that extends from one point to another. There's also a cover available. So it's not just on the point that I have this property and so it is insured. If that property that you own causes damage to another property or extends, there's also what we call the third-party liability. And this liability is covering even bodily injuries, covering the property damage for other owners. We have had situations where probably there's a windstorm, it takes the roof off and cause damage to another property. These are extensions that are in that policy. And it's important that we all know this. We have made so much points at this end here from the insurance segment to members of the public that it's important that you learn to take your risks and transfer to the shoulders of the insurance companies. A lot of us year in, year out will say that what are they talking about? Is it important? But it comes to a point where some persons we have seen, probably in news, they cry. I am crying to government to give me support. Government is trying their bits to see how there could be a position of meeting the welfare, the social responsibility to members of the public. And then we'll come again on private attention. It's quite pretty difficult. And that is why we are also pleading with government to see that this provision as made by the law should be domesticated in the Edo State here, so that there will be a proper application. We have made approach to government before. We are looking at it. We have gone to the House of Assembly before. Don't worry, we are going to clean this up. Now, the business that we have in Nigeria here is that we need frank talk. We need things that can move the Nigerian economic, the Nigerian society forward. It's not just on the basis of, well, what do you have to present? Because at the end of the day, members of the public will be better off. Ms. Odia, the issue of meeting with government to say that the policy in terms of having a classified special fire and special perils cover for members of the public, especially on public property, so that people would take, advantage of it. Now, by all classification in terms of rating of policies, the fire insurance policy remains one of the very cheapest class of insurance. And so we want to say that we are available for consultation. Call us so that we can also speak to you based on what you are supposed to take as advantage. Some time ago, we also made time off here. We were at the Uwelu spare part market, you know, to speak with them. And the group there said, oh, sorry, we had challenge. But we also realized that that property belongs to Ego, local government. And so for the structures, Ego, local government is supposed to ensure the market at Uwelu because they collect rents from there. While the shop owners are supposed to ensure based on the stock they have in that particular place. So let us make a better understanding of this.
What I would like to add, based on what you have said, is that this subsection of Section 65 is just reminding all of us, opening our eyes, as it were, to the fact that there is risk exposure, not just to you and your property or your business, but to also those who you have to do business with, who come into your premises and leave the premises. So that's the public liability side of it. And this section, subsection, is saying you should make provision to provide cover for all of them, both your own business and those who have things to do with you one way or the other. Or if peradventure, by virtue of what risk has occurred, your property causes damage to another property or somebody else, there's provision taken for it. And looking at it from the government side, well, I want to say that we'll still keep putting pressure on them. Even though we've made visits to the House of Assembly and to the different ministries, they still need to keep up reminding them that this is something that needs to be done, because collective security is something that is business for all of us, not just for governments.
Okay, well, thank you. I hope you have heard. And for those who have heard, please tell others so that they can also be properly guided and see what they have. This news we are talking about is a good news, and we should all take kindly to reaching out to others. Well, thank you for listening. God bless you, and have a wonderful day. Bye.